We're joined now by the CEO of the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority, Captain Musa Nuhu. Thank you so much for joining us. So good to see you on Newsnight tonight. Let's start with this agreement, this deal signed by Nigeria and South Africa on aviation safety. What exactly are the details of this deal, and how much of a game changer is it?
Thank you very much for having me here this evening. Yeah, it's a memorandum of understanding signed between the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority and its counterpart in South Africa, the South African Civil Aviation Authority. And the whole deal is a technical cooperation and assistance MOU. So we work with each other. The civil aviation authorities, no civil aviation authority knows everything or has everything. So we help each other where we have gaps or deficiencies. And it's not only with South Africa, we've signed quite a few number of countries. And during this Aviation Africa Summit that just ended today, we've agreed with a couple of more countries who are going to be signing. So it's just extending an arms to other civil aviation authorities, how we can collaborate and work together and improve the civil aviation in our various countries.
You want to help us understand some of those areas, I mean, from your point of view, that actually need improvement, and how this deal can actually, close that gap?
Well, we just had an audit in Nigeria, and there are certain areas that the gaps have been identified. One of the areas is certification of airports. And we need to work with other countries to guide us on the certification of airports. We've done quite a lot towards that area, but the airports were not able to get to the standards to get certification from the CA. So we'll need other countries to come see how we can assist and get our airports to that standard so that we can get the certification for the 5 international airports in the first instance. And also in other areas, during the last security audit, Nigeria had one of the highest marks in Africa. We had 92 or 93%. And other African countries are asking us to assist them in those areas. So it's a bilateral, it's a two-way street. It's not just a one-way street, it's a two-way street.
Rub my back, I rub yours.
Absolutely.
But yet again, that sounds very enticing, and it's usually very exciting when you hear a deal being signed like this. But also, does the deal or the agreement include aircraft safety and aircraft maintenance?
No, it doesn't include aircraft maintenance, but the deal includes areas we can work together to enhance aircraft safety, flight operations, safety of flight operations.
Paint a picture of that to us.
Well, we look at each other's system and copy the best practices done by its system. And what I saw in South Africa, the team for the audit, they work continuously. It's a continuous process for the audit. And that's the best practice we are going to adopt in Nigeria. It's not when the audit comes that we prepare for audit, but every day function, it's like an audit. So it's one of the best practices we are going to adopt from the South African system, which is quite interesting.
Fantastic. Let's talk about this single travel market. How ready would you say Africa is, for this, and what exactly are the projections for this single, travel market?
Okay, the single African travel market SATM is one of the key programs of African Union to bring the African continent together to benefit from our market, to expose the different goods. It's been going on for quite a long time. The first started as the Yamoussoukro decision over 30 years ago. But since the appointment of the new section of AFCAC, Nigeria's own Funke Adeyemi, she's really brought it to the forefront, the implementation of single African air transport market. If you look at Africa as a whole, the best form of transportation is by air. Land transportation is going to take a huge amount of resources to build the railways, to build the roads. In addition to that, the security in some areas, security problems in some areas makes it very difficult. So the preferred and the most efficient mode of transportation in Africa is the single African air transport. That's countries opening up their market for others, giving market access to airlines from other countries to come up with them. It's an excellent idea. There's been some progress, but there's some challenges.
What are they?
We have 54 African countries. Each country has its own regulatory system. So you can imagine 54 different regulatory systems. For an airline, you want to go 10 different countries, you have to comply with the requirements of 10 different countries. It makes it very difficult. And one of the importance of the MOUs we're working with this country, it starts with assistance, and over time, we want to see the certain group of countries start harmonizing their regulations. You have a commonality in regulations, so it makes it easier for airlines from different countries to fly to other countries. We
are aware that the federal government is still working on measures to ensure that the $600 million profit of foreign airlines trapped in the system gets paid. But then, what does that mean to investors looking to also partner Nigeria, and of course in line of this agreement that you have with South Africa? How is South Africa looking at Nigeria in that respect?
Oh, South Africa, we have very good relationship with them as on matters of aviation, and there's mutual trust and respect between us and the South African authorities. In fact, the Deputy Minister of Aviation was in Abuja for this event, and he had a long meeting with the own Minister of Aviation, Festus Keyamo, SAN, and had quite a good...
So how are you managing that situation? How are you managing it with other countries?
$600 million, it's not the best, because this is an agreement Nigeria signed, that you come, you fly to a country, you buy a ticket, and you're allowed to retrieve your money unfettered. Retrieval of your money through foreign exchange. But because of some difficulties we had for some time, it was a bit difficult to remit those money. But my own understanding, the President, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, has given instructions that the central bank should meet quarterly with all the airlines in view to resolving this. And so payments have been made, but there's still a lot outstanding. And the current government has taken the bull by the horn to really make these payments. One of the issues, the difficulties we have, because we're not remitting it, the airlines have closed the cheap tickets. It's only the expensive tickets they are selling to Nigerians. That's one of the reasons why the international ticket prices have really gone through the roof.
So as a regulator, I mean, how best to prevent such backlog going forward?
Unfortunately,
what are you putting on the table to,
it has nothing to
ways to avoid this?
It's an issue that has to do with central bank. They control the foreign exchange. So we can only make case to the Ministry of Aviation, and the ministers, the previous immediate past minister and the current ministers are making, I know they're making concerted efforts. They've met with the Minister of Finance, they've met with the governors of central bank and with the airlines. In fact, today I think the minister had a meeting with the International Air Transport Association, which represents, it's like a body of all the airlines, to discuss this matter. So it's an ongoing effort to resolve this matter, and I think hopefully in the near future there'll be significant progress towards
and we will not find ourselves in this situation again. Thank you so much. Still a lot to talk about, but we'll have to leave it there.
Thank you very much.
Musa Nuhu is CEO, Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority. Thank you for joining us.